If you're a freelancer, the time between having a client inquire with you about your services to having a contract signed and payment in the bank is a really, really critical and often time intensive part of your client's journey. You are sending emails back and forth, getting contact information, finding out more information about the project. For freelancers, as a service provider, freelancer, marketing nerd for hire, that was the biggest bottleneck and time suck for me onboarding new clients, was making sure that everything was answered before we started working together. I was getting really frustrated with the amount of emails that were going back and forth with potential people, the amount of times I was getting ghosted, the amount of times I was forgetting about somebody. It just was a really messy process for me. There had to be something better than letting people's inquiries go into my email inbox and just kind of sit there to die. So I found out about Honeybook in late 2019 and I started using it, and it has been the best CRM I've ever used. So it helps me manage these customer journeys, these customer relationships, start to finish in such a professional and seamless way. So today we're going to go through the 5 steps that I used to set up my client onboarding workflow. This is how I get new clients. This is what I do, what people experience when they're starting to work with me. So how to set up this client booking workflow and make sure that your new people are going to be a really good fit, that you already have all the information you need to just really jump in and get started on their project without really a lot of work up front from you. Besides setting these automations up, it's pretty hands-off. Step 1 is to know where your potential clients are coming in from. Most of my potential clients were seeing my website and emailing me from my website, or seeing me on social media and messaging me there. So I knew that this kind of digital connection was going to be really crucial. What I did was I swapped my contact form on my website, and I use Wix to build my website. I swapped my basic contact form for an inquiry form that you can build out with Honeybook. So this is all built out with Honeybook. The basic contact info is there, but this is the magic part. I divided out my services. This is step 2. Step 1, know where people are coming from. For me, it was website. And step 2, divide out your services. So I went through and kind of broke down what types of services I do provide, what they're called. These services are what make the whole rest of this workflow happen automatically. So step 1, we've set up an inquiry form wherever makes sense for you, whether that's a website, whether that's a link in an email, and I kind of have both. I usually, if somebody talks to me in person or messages me on social, I'll send them to my website and I'll say, hey, click contact and fill out that form. That way everybody's going into the workflow the same way. Once they fill it all out, all the required forms, they hit send, and I get a little notification like somebody sent an inquiry in. Great. I usually don't even really look at it that much, because what's happening next is the part that I really care about. So over here in Honeybook, we have this sub menu called automations. That's where we're hanging out right now. When somebody on this contact form selects one of these services, website design or social media training, something happens that's very specific. This is the website workflow. So we have our first step, know where your people are coming from and create a way to capture information there. 2, divide up your services and start thinking about the parts of those conversations that take the most time. So for me, it was the back and forth specifically to websites, social media training, social media management of like, what platform do you have? Do you already have a website? Back and forth about just these nitpicky things that are better answered in an automatic questionnaire. When somebody selects that inquiry, a questionnaire by email. So over here under templates, which is up in the tools menu, you can see that I have a bunch of different questionnaires. So these are all ones that I either send out manually or they automatically go out. So the website questions is one that goes out automatically if somebody selects here that I want a website. I set that up so that when people select that project type in this workflow, they're automatically getting a website questionnaire immediately. So this shows up in their inbox. So these are conversations. This is all based on conversations I used to be having in real time with clients. Every time I got an email like, we want a website. Great, who are you? That's awesome, but what do you need on it? So this is really, really important to me. So this goes out to potential clients that want websites. And if they don't fill it out, this is where the vetting process comes in. I have it sent out, right? Immediately after they fill out that inquiry form and say that, hey, I want a website, they get a nice email that says, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm so excited to hear more about your project. Fill out this questionnaire by clicking this button. Wait 3 days after the automation, and this is your step 4 of this whole onboarding process. Set up automatic tasks within Honeybook. So this is an automatic task. Wait 3 days after the automation is activated, and then it sends a reminder about the website questionnaire. If nobody's filled it out in 3 days, I get a little ping in my Honeybook dashboard that says, hey, these guys haven't seen it. Do you want to send them a reminder? Usually I hit yes, and then it sends them a reminder like, hey, please fill out this questionnaire. And then 3 days after that, it creates another task that says, do you want to continue with this client? After 6 days, if I've heard nothing, I have a little thing that pops up on their project page in Honeybook, and it says, hey, these people haven't even opened an email in 6 days. What do you want to do? I can then choose. I go in and I look, and I'm like, okay, I do know this person, and I know that they're just really bad about checking their email, so I do want to know more about their project. I'll reach out to them. 9 times out of 10, if it's been 6 days and they took the first step to reach out and they got that questionnaire, they haven't filled it out, if it's been 6 days, I'm going to archive that project. If nobody's opened an email, nobody's checked on it, I am not going to hunt them down. I'm not going to babysit. I don't have time for that. And that is something that I learned along the way of running a business for 7 years, is that if they can't even fill out a questionnaire that takes like 5 minutes, they don't even have to know all the answers. But if they can't do that, what's it going to be like to work with them when I need a lot of input on website, on colors, on fonts, and I need photos and logo files and things like that? I don't want to work with somebody who already has that track record for behavior. And Honeybook and this onboarding process has really helped me streamline the vetting process. So instead of me, going back and forth with somebody for possibly months before we end up with a signed contract, this takes all that work off my plate. This happens automatically. They fill out the questionnaire. What happens next, right? That's the good part. That's the awesome part. The 5th step is to watch the magic happen. So I've talked a little bit about some of the more negative things that can come out of this onboarding, like people don't reply, people don't fill out the questionnaire. That doesn't happen a ton for me anymore. The magic part is when somebody fills out the questionnaire. I read it, I reply to it, and I send out a scheduling link to them. And we get on a Zoom meeting and we talk a little bit more in depth about their project, their needs, and what the next steps are. I make sure that they did answer all the questions on the questionnaire. If there were things that they had, concerns about, or if I had concerns about, we cover those in a Zoom meeting. But that only happens after that whole workflow has been gone through and somebody replied to the questionnaire. After that meeting, it's write up a proposal, send it over in Honeybook, digitally sign it, and get money in the bank. That's amazing. And that has super condensed the amount of time that it has taken me to get bookings with my clients. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was insightful. The 5 steps to setting up a really successful client booking automation through Honeybook. my favorite CRM for freelancers and service providers and creative professionals of all types. Super amazing. I'm going to be doing a few more videos on some of the other features I love about Honeybook. So stay tuned for other videos about Honeybook. You can check them out on my channel page. Also, if you are excited about Honeybook and want to try it out, I have a referral link down in the description that will get you 50% off your first year of Honeybook. Yay! I am excited to share that with you because it was just such an important thing for me, and the ability to set these automations up and work smarter, not harder for my business helped me be more financially stable, take on more clients, and just run a better business. And I think all of us deserve that, right? Okay, cool. Check that out. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, or if you have an automation that you're using and loving. I'd love to hear about it. And until next time, stay badass.